welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to a Barcelona news roundup. Of course we're doing a news roundup, there is so much to discuss, and to be honest, in today's video, we're going through all the different avenues. We're going to be talking about Samuel Umtiti's new, or existing, whichever way you want to look at it, bad injury problem. We're also going to be talking about Lionel Messi's future and exactly the latest on everything right now that's going on with Messi. And of course, we have some news as well on Xavi Hernandez following reports that he may be about to take over. But is that true? And if you do stick with me, towards the end of today's video, we're also going to be talking about two exciting Barcelona youngsters who secured their future at the club, and in doing so, it means they're not going to be affected by the current board in their development, and that's something we can all get excited about. It's all coming up. Let's get to it. Come on. Because if we do start here with that news on Samuel Umtiti, let's kick off with the negative stuff, because Barcelona officially confirmed this morning that Umtiti has a left knee problem. And basically they went on to say there's no return date. Right now they have no idea whatsoever when Umtiti is going to be back in action, and they don't really know how significant, how serious this current problem is, with some sections of the media actually suggesting that Umtiti may be out for the rest of the current season. He may have played his last game in the current campaign, and just as we've said many times before, this is yet another injury setback for Samuel Umtiti. It's yet another problem that may or may not be linked to his previous injury problems, and the worst thing about all this is we kind of knew it was coming. With Umtiti, you always know that a problem is around the corner, and I think given the way that he played against Celta, I remain absolutely convinced that he's never really got over the previous knee problem that he had. You remember back then when he avoided that surgery, when he opted there not to go down the surgical route and instead tried to recover naturally from the knee problem that he had, and I just don't think he's gotten over that. And I think if you look at that game against Celta, you look at the way that he moves, he's a shadow of his former self. He doesn't have the pace anymore, he doesn't have the positioning, he makes rash decisions, and his head right now, it doesn't seem to be there. He doesn't feel confident when he goes out there on the field in his own body. And that's the worst thing you can say about a professional player. And right now, he is clearly suffering. And it does hurt, because this is somebody who, when he arrived at the club, he had a phenomenal first season. He looked like an absolute bargain. There was interest from right around the world in Umtiti. People wanted to sign him. He was one of the best centre-backs in the world. And now look at this. He is not that player anymore. And sadly, Barca find themselves now in a really difficult situation. Because what's our next move? Because the problem you have right now with Umtiti, because even though we do know that he does have that quality that he once showed all those years ago, that he can be a good player, we've got to accept we haven't seen that now for such a long time. And we've also got to accept that he's not getting better. He's not recovering from these injuries. It's not going away. This is a problem, yet again, that has been troubling him now for some time. And you look at it, he's 26 years old. He turns 27 in November, but he's got a contract until 2023. Another 3 years we could have here of Umtiti having injury problems, hardly playing on a big contract with big wages that he currently earns at the club. And that's what I mean. This is a difficult situation for the club right now, and what do? Do we try and sell him on? If you do that, will anybody come in for him? Is anybody going to want to pay real money to sign Umtiti? Could we actually find ourselves in a situation here where we're actually looking for teams to take Umtiti off our hands? That will be the question ahead of this summer, and I just want to know, what would you do in this kind of situation with Umtiti as he is now, as he has been for quite some time? Where do we go from here? It's so difficult. And very sad. And speaking of sad and difficult, we now do move on to Lionel Messi and his future at the club. What exactly is going on with him right now? Of course, last night we spoke in detail about the fact that he may want to leave in 2021, the fact that he's going to talk to the potential election candidates for 2021 to see what the aims are going to be for the club going forward. And it was interesting there to see how the club reacted, because immediately there, after those reports came out, the club's mouthpiece, Mundo Deportivo, they came out and said the club are very surprised with the news coming out about Messi. They say the club didn't expect anything like this to be hitting the media. Of course they didn't. They were never supposed to know about this. It was supposed to hit them like an absolute cannonball. And they say right now, as far as the club are aware, contract negotiations with Messi haven't stopped. They're not aware of any change with Messi. But of course, they would say that. The club would say, oh, well, we're not really aware of anything going on. Has anything changed? We're not so sure. Of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to play it down. That that doesn't necessarily mean that nothing has changed from the side of Messi. He is in full control here of his future and not the club. And I would just be very, very wary right now of the club trying to play all this down, especially Mundo Deportivo there coming out, doing the club's work in the media, trying to spread the kind of message they want to convey to all of us. But let's be careful, because you even look today at Barcelona's social media there, they're posting pictures of Messi looking very happy in training just to play down everything there that's come out in the media. But don't let that go. Don't let that slide. Messi is clearly unhappy with the way the club is being run. He's not happy with the way the club come out and tarnish his image in the media, and that's not going to change. Well, Bartomeu is president. Messi is not convinced by the project. And like I say, don't let anybody, not the club, not the media, guide you away from that fact. And speaking again of the media, we now move on to Xavi Hernandez, because again, last night, very coincidentally timed, Mundo Deportivo once again, the same source, came out with a big story that basically said sources in Qatar have claimed that Xavi Hernandez has accepted an offer from the club to take over as the coach this coming summer, and Xavi will return to Barcelona. And of course, excitement was high. People want to see Xavi back. People want to see here Xavi in charge of the club. And that would be exactly what Mundo Deportivo wanted. Exactly what the club wanted. Because like I say, that is so conveniently timed that some sources from Qatar have said that Xavi has agreed to take over. But I do have to tell you guys, that, as you probably guessed already, is absolutely false news right now. And that has been completely denied by a journalist named Xavi Miguel, who's actually the closest journalist there to Xavi Hernandez himself. And he's come out there and he said absolute rubbish. This is not true. This is not correct. And wherever they've got their information, it is simply not the case. And it just seems like, again, this kind of story leaked perhaps by the club to distract us from the circus that is going on right now. And like I say, let's just be very, very careful right now with what you read. And just like I said before anyway, with regard to Xavi, I would wait. Don't come this summer. Don't throw yourself into this mess under the current board. Just wait until you and Victor Font, together with a project united, can lead this club into a new era. That's the time to come. Just don't throw yourself into this bad situation right now. But like I say, guys, away from all of that stuff, if you've made it this far in the video, a big thumbs up to you. Well done. You've stayed around here for the positive stuff, because we are going to talk, and I've wanted to do this for days, but I haven't found the opportunity. We're going to talk here about two exciting Barcelona youngsters with potentially massive futures ahead of them, and we're going to talk about them because they've renewed their current contract, which means now they can't really be affected by the current board, because their time is running out in 2021, as of course we know, maybe even before, they will be gone. And that's why any youngster now signing a new deal, pledging their future to the club, we can start getting genuinely excited about these guys. And the first one we are going to discuss is Arnau Tenas, because he here is a very, very highly, and I mean really highly rated goalkeeper who's been playing his football this season at juvenile A level at Barcelona. He's featured there in the UEFA Youth League, and he's also played for the Spanish under-19 side. And not just played for them either, he's become a captain and a leader in their team. Now, he's only recently turned 19 years old, and Tenas is a player who's been really highly regarded now for many, many years at La Masia level, maybe even the man to take over from Marc-Andre ter Stegen in the future. But of course, that's a long, long way away, and we shouldn't go too far down that road yet. But the good news is, Tenas has extended his contract by 2 further years, keeping him there contracted to the club until 2023, and he now has a release clause of 100 million euros. And it's going to be interesting now to watch his development with the club, because already this season under Garcia Pimienta at Barcelona B, he has been involved there in training sessions with them. And there are a few murmurs right now around the club that should Neto move on this summer, Barcelona then could promote Iñaki Peña to the first team on a permanent basis. And then what would happen is that Arnau Tenas, the 19-year-old goalkeeper, could be playing for Barcelona B next season. And then the path begins to the first team. He's certainly a player with a big ceiling to keep an eye on. And to be honest, much of the same can be said for the second young talent who Barcelona have successfully renewed, because 18-year-old Conrad de la Fuente, another exciting young La Masia player. This guy is a wide player, can play there on either wing, and he's officially renewed with Barcelona until 2022, with the option as well of 2 further seasons. His buyout clause now is going to be set at 50 million euros, but if, or potentially when, he moves to the first team, that will increase to 100 million euros. And that really really is a possibility, because at juvenile A level, he has been excellent this season. Conrad has impressed in the UEFA Youth League. He scored 3 goals in that tournament, and he's also impressed as well when he's made that step up to Barcelona B, because under Garcia Pimienta this season, he has appeared on 3 different occasions in Segunda B for the B team, and he actually scored a last-minute winning goal against AE Prat, which was actually assisted on the day by Ronald Araujo. And I think there's certainly, for Conrad, the American youngster, he is very, very talented, highly exciting, and another player, much like Tenas, keep an eye on next season. At Barcelona B, they're still going to be fighting for promotion from Segunda B this season, and I think if they can make that step up to the Spanish second division, that would put us in a really good position with these exciting, young, talented players coming up to get the experience they need to make the big leap to the first team, because under new presidency, under Victor Font, hopefully, I'm absolutely sure we're going to be seeing much more emphasis placed on La Masia, which is the route we all want to go down. So please do let me know in the comments down below, guys, on everything we have discussed in today's video. Like I say, many different aspects, from Samuel Umtiti's injury problems to Lionel Messi's questions over his future, Xavi Hernandez potentially taking over at some point in the future, and of course, 2 exciting young players in Arnau Tenas and Conrad de la Fuente. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Thanks for joining me, as always, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for build-up to our game against Villarreal. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça!